Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Well, welcome to the year 2024, and we're still in season 3 of Super Pros Bros. I'm player 1 Ike, and with me, as always, is.
Player two, Eli, and Poseidon. You know this podcast is available on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify.
I did not, Marco Brolo. Are those the same places they could
Like,
comment
share,
and subscribe?
it surely is.
Holy macaroni.
My God.
Really moving up in the world. Speaking of moving up in the world, anything cool, fun going on with you? We are just getting back after the holidays.
We sure are. And well, this is one of the few years I can actually use the expression "New Year, New Me." Because yeah, that's the fun way to stumble into this one. No, I am living alone for now, and for the presumable foreseeable future. Um, if anyone doesn't know who listens to this, I am divorced at this point.
Hey, single ladies.
I'm single, ladies. Form a line and tell me who's missed me. Yeah. Um, due to not due to any kind of infighting, but Artemis didn't want to live in this country for because this country has a bad history of hating women and black people. Um,
No. Not women and black people.
yeah. um, so she she said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out," and now she lives in Dubai. So it is made for an interesting holidays and uh, an interesting adjustment in my living situation. So this year, for better or worse, will be very different than last year.
Get any fun trinkets over Christmas? Any new prized possessions?
I did get some cool books, which I will mention later, and I got
You're welcome.
thank you. Did get some dope shirts that are ridiculous. I'm
we'll try to find a way to post a picture of some of them.
I'm I'm I like the flying cat ass. It's not bad. With no
Just
context,
have that alone. I like flying
flying
cat
cat
ass.
ass.
You know, sometimes I
But I
find
mean
myself sitting on a porch and being like, you
but
know
the
what?
cat toaster is
I like
just
flying
fucking
cat ass.
tops. The cat toaster is just peak t-shirt. Um so yeah,
Thank you, friends of the podcast, Pops and Bill. You steered me right on that one.
fucking legends. Uh what about you? What's going on for you?
Um, just the other day, got to, I think, so I moved to Los Angeles in April of 2021. Still very much during the pandemic, and there has been a fair number of team tournaments in the game Magic the Gathering that I play oh so too much. And since I have moved here, I know the number is over 10 team tournaments that I've played with varying different partners. I have never not prized in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have 100% entry to return on investment ratio.
How
And
does he do it?
just this
Sorry.
last weekend, new crew, story still the same, motherfucker. Just just came in and
Nice.
slapped cheeks. It was lovely. Um
Sorry, my brain just put an audio clip. I think it's just Jet. Saliva. I think it's Jack Black saying clapping cheeks. It's just my brain just fucking filled that in for me like a Twitch chat notification.
soundboard
Yeah,
self
exactly.
recircuit, yeah. So yeah, was clapping cheeks. And other than that, just also got back from Christmas. We both went up and saw our folks now that they have returned to their true home in Sparks, Nevada. Nice. I got or I'm getting rather, lots of mom-made magic tokens. Very excited. Again, we'll try to post this so you guys know what we're talking about and the doobly doos. But other than that, went and saw a movie, hung out, did the usual watching of Die Hard and
Home Alone.
Home Alone. It was gangbusters. Continued to not be able to, and in this case, forgot to try to get Chinese food on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I don't think everything was open.
What's the? Yeah, I mean, we didn't even look though.
Yeah, true. We did not at least give it the old college try.
um. Oh, went to. I guess since we last spoke, I did go to the regional championship qualifier or the regional championship in Atlanta, Georgia. Didn't go as well as planned, but still had lots of fun. Um, Other than that, I'm prepping for a tournament this coming weekend that hopefully I can win $5,000 for being a
5,000
nerd.
smackaroons.
Schmackaroons. So more on that next week, or 2 weeks from now. But what do we have going on this week?
Well, I mean, since to date us a little bit, we are recording this on the New Year's.
Welcome to the land of
It's the
tomorrow.
world of tomorrow, you muppet.
Damn it.
Do it right, D nice.
Timothy.
Present. Thank you.
But what are we doing? What are we doing in the world of tomorrow?
So we are talking about looking. We're doing the appropriate perspective thing and looking forward at things we are excited for, things we are cautious about, and things that we'd really like to change.
In the year 2024 of our
Yep.
Lord Jesus Hamster Christ.
Sweet zombie Jesus. Um. So yeah, and again, doing it through the lens we usually go and looking at kind of books, television, movies, that branch of entertainment. Um, I'm
Should
not
we
trying
start
to
with
get.
the scary or the sweet of this
Um,
coming year, my guy?
let's start with the positive, and then we can end on what we hope changes.
Okay,
What are we excited for?
dude. I know both of us loved Mad Max Fury Road,
It's true.
and George Miller has graced us with yet another hopeful and I am expecting banger in Furiosa,
I,
starring Emma Taylor Joy. Is that her name? Hold on, I need to look up her.
whatever
It's not
happened to like Wasteland?
Anya Taylor Joy. What do you mean Wasteland?
Wasn't like the next Mad Max supposed to be like Mad Max Wasteland? Like, wasn't that in pre-production?
Hold on, let me check.
Because I swear that they would like. I thought they had um contracted Tom Hardy to do 3 of them.
Yeah, no, it's still in production. It looks like.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, they're making. It, well, wait. Now I'm curious.
But
I do see it.
okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Apparently, it's still in pre-production.
Okay.
Mad Max 5: The Wasteland director George Miller says that the story is not yet fully evolved. Was it a fucking Pokemon?
He's got to go do more gym battles with it.
Dude. Like, what the fuck?
Dun dun dun. Dun.
But until that, until he fucking gets into its final form, we get the awesomeness that is going to be
So,
Furiosa.
also, that was a remarkably good fucking battle intro there.
Yeah. Fucking nailed it. Let's go. But until we get until he goes and takes down Dragonite, We get Furiosa starring Anya Taylor-Joy, who I just absolutely love and always kind of brings it, and the Hemsworth. Get both them goodies. Big fan.
Sweet, sweet Chris action.
It looks lovely. We're getting some backstory. A we're getting to have somebody who knows how to write, like a man that knows how to make action movies with
Mm-hmm.
great visuals and have leading women that have great agency.
Sure.
Big fan, like just wins across the board.
Sure.
So many people know how to write part of that, and then they fuck up one part. Whether it's I know how to write women, but I can't fucking write an action scene. I know how to write an action scene, but what are these boobs? Like the fucking
The boobs
garbage.
boobing down the hallway. Yes. bouncing, bouncing boobily.
Yeah, and then she hit them with her tit. I was like, what the fuck? So to have somebody who gets it go at it, big fan. What about you? What's on the horizon that has you excited?
Motherfucking Arcane.
Say it again for the people in the back.
I mean, it is slated to come out. I think November of this year is when it will start airing. I don't know how
Count
they're
it. Yeah.
I don't know they're necessarily going to be. I assume they'll do a similar release schedule. But the first season, they'll do it in chunks, which
Yeah, they did
totally
it like
fine.
3 episode swaths, right?
That's what they did. I mean, I don't know if they'll be doing the same thing. I
I
wouldn't be
mean, if it's
surprised if they did.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure, but I mean, like they could do a very different
Oh
release
yeah.
schedule, and I wouldn't be like, "What is this? This is outrageous."
Oh
No,
yeah.
like either way, I'm jazzed. There's more of it. I'm jazzed to take nearly as long.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't seen any kind of talk of like voice actors changing or of issues at the animation studio or anything of that ilk. So I I am just like, as far as I can tell, we're just getting more of it, and it's picking up where it left off, and I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah.
Send it. It's just one of the best written shows I've ever seen.
So I was watching on my flight back from Reno.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a thing by one of our favorite YouTube video essayists in regards to Arcane, Schnee, and he made a note that I hadn't really thought of. That the two main writers of the show, this was both of their times first foray into writing.
Oh, damn.
So it's, as much as they did have to get lucky, they were in positions of opportunity, yada yada yada.
Nailed it.
Not only nailed it, but for people such as us who are esteeming storytellers, the idea that we have to you got to put in your 100 scripts or your 100 books until you get one that's really good. Like, sometimes you can just get there. Don't have to pejoratize yourself. Don't have to think that you're going to be fucked.
No. To be fair, we don't necessarily know what else they've written that never saw the light of day. But
True. I mean, well, neither of them are writers though, so that would actually be kind of surprising in general. Both of them worked for Riot in different factions. The main writer was like the guy who created the show was a musician. Full stop. Like that's what he did for them.
Sure, I hear you, but like, there's decent odds he does some fucking writing in his spare time.
Sure.
Like,
so do we though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way,
no, it's
still
a baller.
It's something. It is a hopefully better aging Aragon circumstance of like you can make it if you get lucky. It's not something that's going to happen, but you don't have to look at the mountain like it is an unscalable obelisk. There are, there are bouncy pads. There is like a ladder, that it is feasible.
Yeah. Yeah, so season 2. God bless. What about you? What else are you excited for?
It's gonna sound a little contradictive moving forward potentially because I feel like some people view this the same way I view some of the things that are going to be in my category. But Deadpool 3, baby. I want some more Ryan Reynolds in a red suit talking shit, looking like a fucking ugly, hate fucked avocado. Like that's
as long as they get a lot of quippy Ryan Reynolds, it will be serviceable.
Yeah,
like
it's the right platform. Most of his other stuff, fine, good, popcorn crowd. I don't blame you for watching the other three projects that didn't do so well rating wise. But Deadpool is the perfect marriage of it fits with the story. It's not awkward them trying to appeal to like the fan base
Yeah.
with getting that Ryan Reynolds goodness that you want so damn bad.
Yeah.
And to top it off, we have likely the last time, but maybe not, like the rejuvenation, the bring back of Logan.
Oh,
All
that's right. They've got him to be Wolverine again.
yeah. We get the right Wolverine back on the tracks.
I feel like
Hugh Jackman was
nobody
born to be.
gets to be Wolverine at this point.
Yeah. Is your name Hugh
Like,
Jackman? No, you don't get to be Wolverine.
yeah, no, just fuck off out of my studio. Like,
See yourself out.
yeah. Then again, I guess if Hugh Jackman just ever wanted to, he could just walk in and be like, "I want to be Wolverine. Someone write me a script."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Before he could turn around, they would have one and just hand it to him for
sir,
sure.
sir, please.
Yeah, break glass if Hugh Jackman wants to be Wolverine. Just like stapled to the wall. Just here you go, sir.
It's just some intern just sprints like, "It's happening!" Ah!
But yeah, that's coming out. I'm very hopeful. Love the first movie. Second one was quite great. Hoping good things for the third.
Yeah.
What else are you hoping for?
Uh,
Perhaps that involves a 3 in it.
I am excited for the third season of Jujutsu Kaisen. Um,
Has the
which
second one even finished yet?
it finished like a week or two ago,
Oh, okay.
and I believe they start. I believe it starts airing 2024. I think it's like airing Q3 2024. Let me make
Dude, it
sure
might be
about
airing
this.
now. Japanese animation studios do not wait for shit.
It is okay. It's expected to release later 2024, so probably back half 2024. Okay. Yeah, I must say there is now anyone who's followed the show does know that the animation studio is trying to actively fucking kill its employees, which is not great.
They're
And I
doing
don't,
their bit on climate change. They're reducing the carbon footprint.
I guess, like I don't, and I do not like how the studio is handling the production, and that they're just running people ragged. What I will
What?
say
A
is that
studio not
yeah,
caring about their
monsters.
employees.
Well, okay, it was bad enough that there's a scene in season 2 where like a good chunk of the city gets demolished and someone deliberately animated in the Mappa studio headquarters to be one of the buildings that is demolished. Which quality resentment right there.
Fuck you in particular.
Yeah, exactly. But like even though I do not like what the studio is doing, the people who are making it fucking killed it in season 2. The show is fucking gorgeous. It's got
I do think it got a lot better in season 2 from what I've seen of it as well.
yes, like season 2 doesn't have to do a lot of the setup. Season 2 is basically just one big prolonged fight. It's just like this city and Shibuya is fucking flattened, a lot of it.
Like
Like
Shibuya.
yeah, poor Shibuya just has a fucking crater in downtown. But yeah, it's paced pretty well. Some of its writing is a little hokey and it whatever. Like it's a little hand wavy. You're watching a fucking shonen action show.
Yeah.
You like roll with it, motherfucker.
I feel
But
a little bit more sign in this go around though.
yeah, it's got a lot more oomph.
It's been it turns out season 1 they weren't they weren't throwing out
Season
the
1 was
big
pretty
punches.
gentle, and then season 2 they're like, "All right, you're ready, bitch."
Like season 1 was a Captain Falcon fucking warm up. It was Captain Falcon was the whole entire season 1, and season 2 was punch.
Yeah, in the span of like 5 episodes, they kill 3 notable people. It's like, can we stop, please?
Stop hurting my friends. Oh baby, there's still more.
We haven't even started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a banger. So I'm hoping season 3. I'm hoping they don't fucking kill their animators. Ain't it the same
Just
people?
kill the animated characters, not your
Yeah.
animators.
Then they have to animate less, obviously. So I'm super optimistic for season 3. It's I've enjoyed the shit out of it. I'm I'm excited for more. Plain and simple.
Well, likewise, I'm excited for more awesomeness coming out of Pixar. These last couple years, their projects have been
Rough.
fine. They've been what?
Been a little rough.
Yeah, some of them have kind of not panned out. Uh, I mean, I think like the best one that panned out was Turning Red, and it was still like I don't think it's bad. I think it's
Like
a little.
Onward was pretty good.
That one's a while ago though.
It's like 2 years.
Uh,
But
4
longer.
years. It's 2020.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Fucking COVID time lag has messed up my brain. All right.
yeah. Like I love the studio. Always have been a big fan. It's a part of my growing up. I will probably always, fuck with them. But this last couple years, they definitely have been trying some shit out. Is maybe like the nice way to put it. All art isn't going to be for everybody. So,
Sure.
what isn't for me could be for someone else. However, both of us were huge fans of Inside Out. We love the idea, the introspection, the different direction, really trying something that not only told a compelling story, but one that mattered a lot to people and helped the progression in this country and in this world of therapy and talking about your emotions and being open to that kind of discussion. Movies like this are very important in that regard. And for them to be revisiting the franchise in Inside Out 2 and playing with the idea of what it's like for kids when they go through like puberty and like they get these new emotions and these new
Yeah.
feelings. Fucking awesome. Very excited. Because I think, were you the one that was telling me? Somebody was telling me that after Inside Out, there was a notable uptick in people going to therapy.
I don't think that came from me, but I would believe it.
Like it was that it was one of like somebody made a I want to say somebody made a list of movies that like helped like that are responsible for upticks in like people seeking therapy, and that's one of them. Just fucking awesome.
Hmm.
Big fan, big therapy heads, the both of us. So get out there and see this movie, or get out there and talk to somebody about why you're not going to see this movie. What do you got last on your list, bro?
So on the more literary side of things, there has been a prospective release date for Knights of Wind and Truth, which is going to be the fifth entry into the Stormlight Archive series. And I I have been unabashed how much I like the series. Um, there's some people who didn't like the fourth one, which was kind of a shocker to me. I enjoyed Rhythm of War. I thought it was good. It was different than the other three that preceded it, but I don't think in a bad way. And I'm interested to see where number five goes. It promises to be like he's set himself up with a lot of weird shit that could happen on the table. Um, I'm a little worried he might kill my boy Dalinar. I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that thought, but it's there. Um, I mean, in either way, I'm excited to see the continuation of the series because it keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's a tiny part of me that's a little worried that I'm like, what if you get too big to actually fucking handle this mess? But we're not there yet, so I'm still just excited. Um, and I mean, his character writing is always great. I want to see more of Kaladin and Shallan just doing shit. So I'm here for it. And I think comes out of man, I'm eating really good in the back half of 2024. This is like everything I want comes out. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is things we are
I'm
a bit
scared.
worried about. Maybe tentative optimism, maybe a little more pessimistic and like anxious. What do you got on the perspective
So
here?
there are a fuck ton of remakes, reimaginings, prequels, and sequels coming out this next year. I
Sure.
can't go through all of them because we don't have that much time, but the ones that stood out to me are there's a Mean Girls TV show. That movie, didn't realize this, came out 20 years ago.
A while ago.
It's a while ago. That being said, it kind of was of a certain time
Sure.
and did its own thing. I don't think they're doing a sequel or a prequel. I think they're doing their own thing with it, which is good. However, just make different shit. I don't know. It's like, do we have to keep going back to this? The other one, Gladiator 2. I'm sorry.
but
The
the
fuck is
main
this shit?
character
Again,
is dead.
24 years ago, they're making Roadhouse, which is a movie that only works because it was in the 80s. And they're making another one with Jake Gyllenhaal, which, I mean, I love looking at a shredded Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a favorite pastime of mine, but like, come the fuck on. It's like, just so much of what makes Roadhouse good was Swayze. It was
Hmm.
the fact that it's the 80s. If you go back and watch that movie, so much of that you can't make now just cuz.
Yeah,
There's it's in like the opening 5 or 10 minutes. It's one of the bouncers is found in the freaking like walk-in fridge fucking some girl. Her tits are just bouncing around because 80s. And he
sure.
goes, "Oh, I think this is going to be my new Tuesday," which is like a lot to
What?
unpack there.
Okay.
But so much of the movie has to like is about it's not B movie, but it's just kind of incidental camp is the reason we still remember it to this day. It's not good. I mean, "Pain don't hurt" is a quote from that movie, for fuck's sake. "I used to fuck guys like you in prison" is a quote from that movie, for fuck's sake. The way he kills the last bad guy is he rips out his throat. Like, so much of this is just fucking weird. It's not good. It's just fucking weird. And to remake that, I think is just it is the correct usage of, you're being a tryhard. This is like you are trying too hard to make this thing that was just lightning in a bottle happen again. Just go search for lightning in a bottle again. You can't. It's like trying to go back to your childhood home and relive your adolescence. It's not gonna fucking work.
No,
My
it
two
doesn't
cents.
play that well.
The last one kind of on this list, but this one's really old and was camp for a different reason. Is they're making Red Sonja over again? I mean, it was an action romp with a big titted redhead. Like, sure, run it back, I guess, but like that one seems also like I don't think there's magic to recapture there other than just obvious American boners to, get to the box office. But
Sweet, sweet patriotic boners.
yeah, original movie was good, but not for, it's just an 80s friggin' action romp. It has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I don't know what the new one's going to do, but I hope they
Probably not
kind
going
of,
to have Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
it's doubtful, but not impossible. Guys
True.
kind of guys surprisingly up for shit. Either way, I'm a little fearful. These aren't like my babies or anything like that, but the original productions are good for their own different reasons, and I want to be optimistic, but knowing Hollywood, I'm more afraid.
Sure.
What else? What has you kind of? Huh.
This one is completely intangible, but I am worried about the production of Redwall. That was supposed to be, I don't know if it was supposed to be made into a film or into a series. I've seen conflicting information about that, and that's the problem. Is I keep seeing conflicting information and nothing is concrete saying when it's actually going to be produced. It's when it has a release schedule, when it has anything. It sounds like it's being mired in production hell,
Yeah.
and I'm worried that it's been long enough that someone's just gonna pull a plug, cancel it, yank the funding because it's getting stuck and bogged down. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about that. Do I have anything to necessarily found this on? No. Is it possible that it comes through and there's positive reports about production and that we get more information? Absolutely. It's completely on the table. Again, it's not off the table. It's not doomed. I'm just worried. I'm getting the vibe that shit is stalled and that is not good.
No.
So I'm a little worried we may not see a modern adaptation of Redwall on on the small screen because I'd
No.
really like to.
Yeah. That one was good. So, speaking of adorable fighting woodland creatures, they're making yet another Kung Fu Panda. Now, don't get me wrong, fuck with the original. Original is a banger. Second one, pretty damn good. I haven't gotten around to watching the third one yet, all the way
I've
through.
heard the third is really good, actually.
Wouldn't be surprised. Big fan of all of them. My concern is that for the fourth, one, we're getting a bit long in the tooth just as a general rule. Like, they've made a TV show also, which I looked at the animation and was fucking noped my way out of that. Jesus. It's rough to look at. Very uncanny
Okay.
valley vibes. This fourth one has, I love her, but it has Aquafina, and I feel like Aquafina is the Asian woman equivalent of The Rock, where people just put them in things, right, wrong, or otherwise, and sometimes they just don't fit. And so much of Kung Fu Panda, I think, is about gelling. It's about like vibes. It's not about like star power, even though the first was fucking riddled with it. It's
Sure.
about the, the story and the way it was evoked. And this fourth one, they're kind of, it feels shark jumpy in that the power of the person is to utilize the powers of the villains of the past. And so they're he's fighting effectively the villains of the past. He's fighting uh is it Chao Lung?
It's Tai Lung.
Tai Lung, thank you. Like, it's the chameleon, and like the chameleon's able to steal the power somehow of these things. I don't know how that's going to happen. That's its own, ship to worry about. But then you're fighting and you're bringing back the voices. It doesn't feel like it feels a little money grabby. It feels like, oh, you like this? What if we gave you more of this? Like, uh, I
Yeah.
don't like it when the art tries to pull you in with nostalgia in that way. It always seems risky to me. Is the
Sure.
way it kind of reads to my brain, and so I'm concerned that we're kind of, maybe IP wise and maybe just storytelling wise, we're
We're
revving up
we're
the jet
tapping the keg a
skis.
little too hard.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
It's good. I hope for the series too. I love Jack Black. I will always support that man. He's a, he's
Guy is
just,
such a goof.
well, not okay. So I'm gonna ride this ship for a second. Guy's a musician at heart, is a lover of art to his core. He's always down. I've never heard a bad experience from a fan ever. He is very sweet and caring, has done a lot of great things. He made a YouTube channel, and contrary to Mr. Get My Wife's Name Out of Your Mouth, he did his in a traditional YouTube fashion where he just fucked around and did what YouTube was made for, which is, oh, you have a phone, oh, you have a shitty camera, whatever, just make your content. He literally made tens of hours, if not hundreds of hours, of him playing Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. And it's just him
Excellent.
having fun, being a goof playing this game, and being Jack Black. It's beautiful. He very much kind of gets it
Yeah.
in every aspect. He kind of gets it, and I just love the man, and I
No,
want good things for
he's
him.
fucking he's a delightful goof.
Yeah,
Like I don't mean that in any kind of insulting way. He just is. It's
yeah,
great.
and I love the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Just like, also, I mean, like the opening trailer is playing more like fat jokes again. Like he's like inner peace, and with peas, and a spicy sesame sauce. It's like that was the Kung Fu Panda 1 joke. Was he's a fat guy, he always thinks with his stomach, can't help himself but eating. And it's
Mm,
like, for this to be coming back around to the fourth one, it's like, has the character grown? Because that's so much of what the series is about growth, acceptance. It has all these great messages. Then we're kind of coming around and playing these jokes. We're doing this with the, bringing back of the old villains. It's like, don't hurt my boy. All right, I'm done.
all right. I this is gonna be it's gonna be a little odd. This didn't go in the first category, but I'm a little worried about Joker folie à deux. I
Fully do.
pardon my French, it's bad. Um, so they're making a second Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix, and it has Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
Hmm.
I'm curious how that casting choice goes. I I don't know. Like, I think Lady Gaga is an exceptional performer. The only problem is my only exposure to her acting that I can think of off the top of my head is one season of American Horror Story. And that season sucked ass.
You're talking about
Um,
Gaga?
yeah,
So she's done American Horror Story. She did that the Italian movie or something like that. Hold on one second.
she might be in more than I know. But
Oh,
like,
I mean, she got nominated for an Oscar, I think. She did
ooh, I'm out of
uh
the loop.
what the God, okay, seriously, why is this so so it's coming up with all our music videos. Why is I actress just eh hold on. 5 seconds. First
Loading.
down. So she did House of Gucci. Wasn't that good, although I got told that she was better than a previous Joker rendition character that was in that movie. She did A Star is Born, where I believe she was nominated for an Oscar. And she's done a couple of other
Iconic.
things. She did American Horror Story.
Yeah,
She did Sin City, although I don't think that she did the second one, which was pretty lackluster.
pretty
She was in
lackluster.
Machete, but that was, kind of whatever. She was in Men in Black 3. Like, she has credits. She's not like,
Okay,
this isn't
fair,
just coming out of nowhere.
fair.
She was
Like,
in
and it
Scream.
wasn't. I somebody super made up and eccentric. I can see Gaga fitting that role very, very well. To be completely fair, and my issue isn't with the casting.
Okay,
My issue is with how do you follow the first Joker?
sure.
Like I genuinely don't know how you follow it. I don't know how you keep it. I don't know how you keep that same kind of feel. Like,
Sure.
yeah, the reason Joker felt so novel in many ways is, and I'd argue, is because it was so small scale. It was
Hmm.
so personal. It in essence one distraught individual who ended up championing a cause on accident through basically complete coincidence.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you recapture a lot of that same emphasis and feel when you start introducing more of the canon characters you would expect in the fucking rogues gallery, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know how you keep, and maybe it doesn't, and it manages to navigate its way just fine, but it makes me worried. Like, Batman, Batman and everything adjacent to Batman is one of those things that's been done time and time and time and time again.
Hmm.
So I'm used to seeing it from a protagonist lens. Don't get much of it from the Joker's lens.
Yeah.
Like, and since this isn't an animated series with Mark Hamill running it, I can't just give it the benefit of the doubt on principle.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, it's the same director,
yeah,
right? It's Todd Phillips, so it's the
I
same
am
director.
probably being overly cautious.
Oh no, like I think you're right to be cautious. I'm just like
Yeah,
I get where you're coming from, but yeah, no, it's very
yeah.
fair.
It's one of those things that I will probably be very wrong. It will probably knock it out of the fucking park. I mean, because I
Hmm.
remember I thought the Joker was gonna be mediocre as shit. I'll be honest. Like when I saw trailers and stuff, I'm like, this seems like it's gonna be artsy and pretentious.
Yeah.
It was fucking great. Um, I think some people climbed up its ass a little too far, but that's besides the point. Um, so I'm just I'm a little leery.
Sure.
Happy to be wrong if whenever it comes out. All right, what else are you cautious of?
The last on this list is this movie called Civil War. The I believe the writer director. Hold on. Upcoming. So he's the writer for it. Is he also the director? Yeah. So the writer director is Alex Garland, Alex Garland is the writer director of Ex Machina and Annihilation. The movie looks really cool. Oh,
Okay.
he also wrote the screenplay for Dread. Neat.
Hmm.
It looks really, really cool. Big fan. Looking at his catalog, I probably don't need to worry. My only concern is that if you watch the trailer, it has a strong like possibility of not being tone deaf, but like really tilting people off. So
Sure.
it's this, this kind of in the near future, there's a civil war between these countries and these countries, and all that happens moving forward. And it definitely has the potential to kind of either be too in the middle that it doesn't say anything, too far left, too far right, where it's kind of, it's a very hard needle to thread, but I
Mm.
do think it's a very has a lot of important information, or kind of it as much as it is a work of fiction, it also has some potential repercussions when it comes to just society as a general rule. Like, this is definitely a movie that, if made very well, could be eye opening for a lot of people, and I think that would be dope. It also has the potential to incense a lot of people, which would be not so dope.
Yeah.
So I worry for its excellence because of the difficult subject matter that it's
Sure.
presenting itself with, and but I'm hopeful. But I'm just like, good luck, man. I hope you nail it.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to your last choice in a way.
I have liked the modern Planet of the Apes series. I loved the first one. I loved the second one. Third one was all right. It it just took some weird turns. I'm like,
Sure.
this feels weird. But I think the overarching story, I think the overarching world building they've done with it has been very, very good. Um, and I'm I'm leery of the fourth one simply because they don't have fucking Andy Serkis in it anymore. I mean, their primary character of Caesar is dead at the end of number three.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoilers. Sorry, it's a fucking 5-year-old movie at this point, I think. Um, and I mean, Caesar was the primary motivating factor. He was the big linchpin for most of the other characters in the movie. He was the original bond in like the first and second, kind of between humans and apes. And so he is no longer there. And so with him, that dynamic goes as well. And not that it can't evolve well from that point, but that is a huge linchpin to lose. And it's also just Andy Serkis' voice work is fucking incredible. Just full stop. So also leery of just him not being there.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm hoping I'm wrong. Hoping someone fills the role perfectly. But I gotta see it to believe it. I'm not
Yeah.
just gonna take it at someone's word. Our
So
oh, go
go
for it.
for it. No, no.
Yeah, okay. Um, our last little category we'll touch on is things that we'd like in general, trends that we would like, uh, Hollywood and the biz in general.
If we could make any New Year's resolutions
Yeah,
for
if
them,
if we could impose some resolutions on them and give them some things like this is on our wish list. Uh, Here's what we would give them.
stop with the goddamn sequels. I like looking through the upcoming films of the year, and so many of them are existing IPs, and not like, well, what about this character? It's not they're not playing with, they're playing with some reimaginations, but not really.
Sure.
Or we'll have to see, I guess. Like, Mean Girls could be a reimaginations as far as I know. Same with like Roadhouse and Sonia. I'm not holding my breath, but they could be. They are most likely sequels of some of our, Kung Fu Panda 4, Gladiator 2. Like, sweet God. Looking through the upcoming films of this year, I think over half, probably two-thirds, were existing IPs in some way or another. And I don't
Hmm.
think any of them, I think the closest one we saw was not even. I was thinking like maybe Joker fully do, but I mean maybe, but we'll have to see. Like Furiosa is the closest thing to a non-sequel because it's a very different take, but it's still in that same you know kind of oeuvre.
No.
So just make new shit. I don't know. Stop playing it so. Stop being so like scared. I know you're trying to make money, but also like this. At the end of the day, it also needs to be art, and art isn't tried and true. Art isn't a spreadsheet.
No. In the same vein, I want less reboots. I I just I don't want them. They have not. Listen, if you're looking at like them as an aggregate average, they're not good.
No.
Um, they trend fairly negative most of the time. There have been some that don't suck. There have been way too many that do. Like
Oh yeah.
like, and they're obnoxiously controversial for stupid reasons. Like the the quote unquote live action Disney remakes. Like people shit their pants over like the Little Mermaid. And it's like this doesn't matter, and things like that. So I just, granted that is more to do with race and people being an insensitive cunt, but
Yeah. Definitely
whatever.
no problem with them casting a black woman playing fucking
She's playing a
Ariel.
fucking mysterious sea monster. Shut
Yeah.
up. Like
That being said, can we have a story? Like we would have
that
loved it
being
if she
said,
was a
the Little
black
Mermaid
mermaid in a
already
different.
exists.
Yeah.
Like
Like if they were trying, and this is something we're going to touch on in a future episode, but if with the reboots and the sequels, if they had instead tried reimaginings
sure.
of either, kind of, okay, you like this, but what if, kind of, I don't think the series did that well, sadly, but it was an interesting idea, and I give them credit, especially considering it
Are you thinking like
was,
the what ifs from Marvel?
yes,
Yep, that's what I was about to make a comment about.
yeah, like, are those, I don't think they did particularly well, sadly, or that they
I don't
weren't.
think so. I mean, they did get a second season, so they did at least decent.
Yeah. That idea, I think, is what hopefully, although unlikely, that is what we would like to see. This
Yes.
idea of a reboot. All right, let's just do it again. But, it's like you're putting
Run it
different
back.
hair on your fucking Cupid doll, or, what if we did Kung Fu Panda 19? It's like just do Tigress 1. Do like
Something.
take a character and go in a different direction. You can stay in that same universe, just taking different characters. As much as I'm the problem that we have with Marvel is not with them doing these shows about like I mean Bucky and fucking Winter Soldier and fucking
Falcon.
it's not Hawk, is it Hawk? No,
No,
what
it's
is it?
Falcon. Falcon
Falcon.
the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's a good approach to take. The only problem with Disney and Marvel is they do it 100 times a day and then you
Yeah.
chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's
That
not that.
and the slipping quality
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, I
the
mean,
whole
that's
holes in the
that's what
writing,
happens
but
when
yeah.
you're putting out like a major multi-million dollar product every other day because
Fair.
you just don't have enough fucking hands on deck. But the issue is that like what we want, I think what people moving forward are going to want is not more of the same. You can stay in the same universe, you can use an IP, but you can remold it so that it is fresh while staying in quotes like, factory safe setting. That's what we want. And that kind of goes to my third point, or the third point, my second point. Get risky with it. If you want to see it, and it's a field very far. Look at A24. That production company doesn't give a fuck.
They
They
do send
throw
it.
big dicks in every direction, and they are not doing bad. They know how to budget correctly. They know how to just like
They
utilize this kind
they
of weird
are
shit.
walking, talking proof that you can be both financially savvy and risky.
Yeah. So I encourage, that there is a happy medium with either reimaginings or, doing like for apparently I didn't realize this. Godzilla minus one that came out did quite well in the box office, got good reviews. Sadly, as far as Eli is concerned, it didn't have that much of the monster. However, this is because instead of doing a shitty character study where you like see a character and they're supposed to make you care about them for 5 seconds, and then when they die or put in a perilous situation, you're concerned. They decided to not play the happy medium and go full the other way. From what I was reading about the other day, it was a character focused movie with Godzilla as just like this disaster machine. But it was focused on the people, it was focused on the families, and he was this thing not in the background, but it was more or less basically almost like a metaphor for an earthquake or a tsunami of this.
Metaphor for an atomic bomb.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, like, well, with the way it's being interacted
Yeah,
with,
he's
because it is.
literally just a walking, talking natural disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So,
talking,
but
quote unquote.
that's close to talking. It's the way he says hello. So with that, they utilized their budget as a focal point, which is very smart because they didn't have much money, which is why they don't have them on screen that much because they couldn't fucking afford it. So instead, they're like, all right, what can we afford? Well, we can afford good writing because that actually doesn't cost that much. So we're going to write our characters very well, like comparatively speaking.
Yeah,
They wrote the characters very well so that when the natural disaster came by, as much as you would love to see Godzilla throw dicks, instead you were like, oh shit, what happens to this family? What happens to this little girl?
yeah,
And they really made you give a fuck. And that is where the value in that movie came through and how they were able to make no budget work while still staying in IP and taking this different, instead of seeing the 18th awesome Godzilla fight, instead they were able to
sure.
subvert it.
I will say, I'm not opposed to that angle of Godzilla.
Hmm.
Problem is, people do it terribly.
Yeah, well, American companies do it terribly.
Fair.
We're the number one bad at writing characters and
God awful at
interacting
it.
when, especially when it comes to, and if there is action in the movie, we suck at it so much as a general rule.
It's yeah. We don't know how to do both. It's one or
Yep.
the other.
But they did a really good job, and it's if more big companies can look at that and go, oh, we don't need to use all this money on CGI if we just have the focal point shifted. Get inventive, get risky with it, find new routes. These sequels and these reboots are fucking tired.
Yep.
And lastly,
As I kind of alluded to earlier with my mention of Jujutsu Kaisen, stop killing your staff. Um, there is a bad trend. This goes for way more than just the entertainment industry. There's a bad trend of overworking people, of just demanding longer hours, demanding more time investment, demanding uh, more sweat equity for not more money, etc. And stop it. Quit it. Like just don't. Overworked people produce shittier products. Overworked people make more mistakes. Um, Overworked people is how you have accidents on set. Overworked people is how you have typos slip through,
it's how you have
etc.
coffee cups in Dragon's Lands. It's how you have turnover. It's how
Yeah,
you have
like
abuse
burn.
and lawsuits.
Yeah, burnout's a very real thing. And the other thing too is like, and this is going to lapse political for just a split moment here. Um, it's too often people are asked to do more because they are of a lower station and because the people who can to effectively get to control the purse strings will go, no, I'll call your bluff. You won't do shit. You need the money.
Yep.
And that is a trend like in too many things, especially in America, because I can speak to that one.
True fact.
Effectively weaponize desperation and greed
Oh
and
yeah.
leave people on their ass. And it's wrong for any number of reasons, and this is just one more industry where it doesn't need to be this way. There is plenty of money in these industries, and more of it can get you can rebalance it and make everybody feel less like a fucking schmuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's entirely possible, it's entirely doable. That should be something to work towards as opposed to avoid.
Yep.
That's and I mean, or if that's something you're not willing to do, I don't know why you should be asking additional concessions of people who are under your employ. Like, if you're gonna demand people work fucking 60-hour weeks, you should be fucking paying them 20 hours overtime.
Yep.
Like, so yeah, I'm fine if you want to make outrageous asks of people. You better be ready with the fucking green to back it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, even then, you need to let people, like, if people, this is where you end up with
This
psycho
this
shit.
is this is one of those where like I gotta start somewhere. Let's at least start with paying them.
Yeah, for sure. I think paying them is the first step in the right direction. But even paying them, what you cultivate by making this their life is, I think, sadly, where a lot of these bad things that happen in industry, this person was an asshole to work under. It's like, well, he came up under an industry that was being an asshole to him, and now it's his turn. Or they had like a breakdown in public. Like you see these like actors like have this moment. They're like, wow, how the fuck that happened? It's like, well, he just worked two movies back to back that were working 12 hours a day. And this is his life, and this is what he's bled for, and it's not worth it. It's the toll it's taking, it's not worth it, and he hasn't put those two together yet. His
Mm-hmm.
brain is still being like, no, 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 we got here, we're finally here. And he's like, deep down in his brain, he's unhappy, and now he's being treated like a fucking animal at a zoo with these paparazzi following him, and he
Yeah.
snaps like, yeah, fucking course he does. You got to treat people like people, and you got to realize that there's this thing, to get on a different kick, called spoon theory, wherein each person has a set number of spoons. Some people have more, some people have way less, but the amount that they're pushing these people, very few people have that many spoons ever. And to be like, oh no, you can do it. Like, yes. Should I? Can I for long periods of time? No. And I think that needs to be realized.
Agreed.
Quick commercial break.
Don't you just hate being a weird social outcast? Don't you wish that you were suave, had women or men falling all over you for no particular reason other than you're present? Do you wish that you had superpowers? Or were simply OP AF, just for existing? Well, that kind of wish for social status and ability could be fulfilled with Isekai, the most power trip trope anime nerds have clamored to in recent years. Chock full of self-insert protagonists, you can numb your mind and avoid thinking about responsibilities or your crippling social anxiety while you ponder life's greatest question to date. Wouldn't it all just be better if I was reborn somewhere else? Probably not.
Are we back? I think we're back.
I think we're back.
Don't call to
What?
come back. We've been here for years.
Shut up. Um,
I wanted you so desperately to say, and we're back, so I could make that joke. I had to tee it up myself.
and we are all the worse for it.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So what have your eyeballs been gandering?
So I, a while ago, read the first chunk of Metropolitan and have gotten the next two big. I think I've gotten the rest of it. I'm not 100% sure, but I've gotten
There's like, I think there's 5 or 7
Is
or
there
something.
5 or so? Oh my god. I thought it was like 3 or 4. Dope.
Mm-mm.
I've gotten the next two big installments of Metropolitan. And Metropolitan is a very interesting kind of sci-fi comic or graphic novel that I am blanking on the author's name. It is a very kind of cynical look at the
Warren
world
Ellis.
of politics and um, social engagement through the lens of someone who is a reporter and can't be bought. Um, and very interesting. And a lot of this, a lot of it, he ends up kind of running against someone who's trying to be president called the Smiler, who is effectively a stand-in for nice faced politicians who are fucking monstrous. Um, and he coincidentally looks a bit like fucking Ron DeSantis. I think that is complete coincidence. I think it was written before Ron DeSantis had any prominence, but
I mean,
it
Ron
fits.
DeSantis also does look like a lot of other just pick a politician. They're not
Sure,
that different.
but yeah, it's kind of funny how well the mold fits.
Yeah.
It's a little uncomfortable. Um, yeah, it is super well written. Its art style is really good, but it's it's a very intelligent and it's really well written. And Jerusalem Spider is such an interesting character to follow, um, and it's got an interesting reverence for acknowledging history and looking at progress. It's interesting how it balances the two,
Mm.
which
So
is one.
the writer, by the way, was Warren Ellis,
Thank you.
who, for those of you, um, he's made a fair amount of X-Men comics, done Ghost Rider, done the whole entire, done some Thunderbolts. He's done, Jesus Christ. Looking down his catalog, he's done a lot. Oh, interesting. Apparently, Transmetropolitan is set in the DC universe.
Ah,
Yeah.
I actually did not. He's never been mentioned like any other kind of notable.
At least it's under their publishing. I don't know if it's in their universe, but it's under
Okay,
their publishing.
I don't think it's in their universe. Like,
Yeah.
there's no mention of like any of the iconic people like Superman or someone that would end up
Yeah.
kind of inevitably shaping the world.
That being said, he has done a fair amount of Batman.
Okay, that is I think where I know his name mostly from. It's probably from Batman.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been enjoying watching all the
So
past?
both of us actually, was it a couple days before Christmas, went out with our family and saw the most recent Hayao Miyazaki film, The Boy and the Heron, which, albeit a lot slow, especially at the start,
It's a lot slow to start.
was it was fun. It definitely wasn't what I had anticipated or what I was hoping for, but it was its own thing. It was good. Had a lot of fun with it. I've never been as scared of parakeets a day in my life. Uh, there's a lot of great things. Another great cute character that I would like to buy a plushie of, except it's $100 fucking.
It is outrageously expensive for what it is.
So expensive. Um, but it's cute as hell. Would love to get like a shirt or something with it on. His adorable little character. Again, just great Hyao stuff. So always great to see the master at work. There were some things that we saw in the movie that was quite great. I think it's probably worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Your mileage may vary for some people. It's going to be too slow for some people. It's going to be right on the money. It
Yeah.
does delve into some really awesome stuff, and I think the way he handles it is great. Just don't be ready for shit to move. Don't think this is going to be like a lot of his other work where it kind of clips along. I'm trying to
No.
think of
First 40 minutes. Oh, it's a slog.
it drags. Definitely don't be yeah, don't be expecting action or anything like that. It definitely, you know, be ready to just be immersed and take it slow.
Yep.
As
Uh,
we you know, slowly wind down here, bruh. Any other Rex game music?
I've so I've still been subsumed by the Path of Exile machine. So
the
that's
path of the path of exile complex.
yeah, it's got its hooks in me still. But I do have a song to recommend. It is speaking of things that start a bit slow. The song Opus by Eric Prydz, Prydz. How the fuck spells it like that? It starts slow. Fuck me, does it build? I love it.
Holy fuck! I just looked this up. It's
It's a
9 fucking minutes.
it's like
Holy
an 8.5
shit!
minute song. It takes a while to get going, but it does go. I love it.
Hell yeah!
It's good to jam to. It's good to kind of rave to. I've listened to it high as a kite and it was fucking awesome. Um, can thoroughly recommend. Um, yeah, it's a banger, and it will again. You get past the first 60 seconds, and it will get you places. It takes a bit to go, though. What about you? Do you have any last recommendations for people before we call it?
So I shared this with you and like to share this with everybody else. It's 29 by Demi Lovato. Not particularly a Demi Lovato fan. Listened to a couple of her stuff. Fine, really not for me. Uh, Last year, working at this new job as a tutor at the charter school, had a student who was something. Love her to death. Phoenix, you're awesome. But girl, you're a lot. And she shared the song with me. There was a day where we were just playing music, and I think she was having us guess what songs were coming on, and a lot of them we oddly knew. A lot of oldies, a lot of rock, and this one came on. We just listened to it. And it's like, damn, this slaps. So 29 by Demi Lovato, great song, great. It's a great also showcasing of how you can write a story as a song and not have it be, just like the Hurricane via Bob Dylan, just like talk singing for like the better part of 5 minutes. This one just slaps. It moves quickly. It gives you the beats, and it does a great job at kind of warning and helping somebody understand someone else's experience, which I really loved. All the while, just like the amount of times I've driven to work and tried to break my lungs hitting some of the notes that Demi does in the song. Can't count them on my hands. Been might need to take my socks off. Been a minute.
Well, all right. On that note, I think that is our episode. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you enjoyed, please feel free to
Like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
but don't forget, new episodes of Super Pros Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month. Bye.
Bye. You are a peculiar duck.
Quack.